Before we get started with this video, I'm giving away the 66 Bob Gibson here to someone who commented and is subscribed. Make sure to comment on this video and be subscribed for a chance to win Ted Kluszewski at the beginning of the next video. So let's go ahead and see who the winner is. All these were commenters of the last video. Looks like it's going to be James Panett. So congratulations, James. Gibson's going to be headed your way. Just make sure to contact me and get my email. What's going on, everybody? We're playing a game today. It's going to be overrated, underrated. Maybe you've seen something like this before. I'm just going to pick a topic. I got 10 of them written down for today. I'm gonna give my thoughts, whether it's overrated, underrated, or properly rated. If you guys like this, I'll make more videos like this, so comment below topics that I should use for future videos. I'll go through the comments and pick some out of there, and then I'll use those for the future videos. Figured it was a way to give you guys some input on some of the videos. But anyways, let's get started. 1970s, overrated. Now for me, the 1970s, I typically like the rarer stuff. So for me, there's just too much of it. I'd say it's overrated. But the reason it does get a lot of appreciation is because lots of people were born in the 70s that collect that type of stuff. So for them, it's a little bit more understandable. But for me, I typically just go for rarer types of cards. For me, 30s to 50s is kind of the sweet spot, but 1970s, overrated. Jeff Wilson, underrated. Now, Jeff and his entire business, I'd say, are extremely underrated. It's not even close, to be honest. He's got the best YouTube channel that there is for sports cards. Extremely high production quality videos. You can tell he's got full-time editors and camera people. And all his videos are basically like a TV show. They're produced so well. There's not many people doing more for the entire sports card hobby than Jeff Wilson. I think he does a great job. He's had some great interviews with guys like Marshall Fogel. I've really been enjoying some of those videos. He does get a lot of hate, but you can tell over the past couple years, he's been getting a lot better at making videos. He's been getting a lot more knowledgeable. He's trying to build out and get more people interested in his videos and interested in sports cards in general. He's not just sitting on his channel, ranting about everything, complaining about everything like some people are. He's actually trying to grow sports cards as a whole. And so for that, I'd say Jeff Wilson, underrated. Jackie Robinson, underrated. Jackie Robinson, I would say, is extremely underrated. He's been getting a lot more appreciation over the past couple of years. But the reason I would say Jackie is underrated is because you could make the argument that he is the second, maybe even first, but I'd say second most important player in baseball history. If you were to ask someone my age or younger, just name two baseball players that aren't playing right now, they'd probably say Babe Ruth and Jackie Robinson. I don't think many people like younger than me would be naming guys like Willie Mays, like Hank Aaron, although they're great players. I think in the overall scheme of baseball history, Jackie Robinson and Babe Ruth are in a tier of their own as the top two most important players in the history of the game. And so for that, I think over the long haul, Jackie is just going to keep going up and up and up in his demand and his prices. Bowman cards. So from 1948 to 1955, Bowman cards, I'd say they're properly rated. I wouldn't say they're too underrated. I wouldn't say they're too overrated. I think they did a great job with 48 and 49. And 53. Some of the other years kind of get washed out by Topps. I think the Topps designs do typically look better. But Bowman, I don't have anything against them. They do have some great cards, and you can get them at some good prices. Now we're going to pre-war. Pre-war, underrated. I don't know why pre-war doesn't get more attention than it does. Some of my favorite sets ever made come from pre-war. You got like 41 play ball, 33 Gaudy, 38 Gaudy, T206. Just crazy awesome sets with bright colors way ahead of their time. Star loaded sets. 33 Gaudy, you got guys like Tris Speaker, Rogers Hornsby, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Mel Ott. I mean, these sets are loaded with stars. 41 play ball, DiMaggio, Ted Williams, Jimmy Fox, Pee Wee Reese. These sets are loaded. I think pre-war deserves even more love than it gets. Pre-war, underrated. Modern cards, underrated, at least in the vintage community. Maybe it's more like overhated than it is underrated, but hardly anyone just jumps straight to vintage cards. It's kind of a gradual thing over time. I think all of us started with modern cards from whenever we started collecting, and then you kind of eventually move back and learn appreciation for vintage. But modern cards, everyone likes opening packs. Despite how expensive it may be now, it is fun to open packs, get some good pulls, watch the players that you have cards of play in game. It can be a fun experience. I think it's a little bit overhated. I don't really have anything against it. It's not up my alley. Overall, at least in the vintage community, I'd say it's a little overhated. Grading your cards, so sending your cards to PSA, SGC, wherever, I'd say overrated. I do like how the cards look in the slab, but overall, I don't think it's a big deal. One thing that will make you notice this is when you take a card that's in like a SGC holder and you send it to PSA. Let's say you got a better grade or whatever, and now the card is magically worth more because it's a higher grade in a different company. Even though it's the exact same physical card, that would kind of put some perspective on it and make you realize grading cards is kind of silly. I do like having them encased, but overall, I think the better of a card you have when you can just hold the card raw, I think it's a great feeling. Actually, like this one here, this Hank Aaron rookie, this one, just holding this card raw, it's just a different type of feeling than holding it in a plastic protected slab. It's almost like going back in time to when this card would have been pulled in a pack. It's a pretty surreal feeling. So grading cards, overrated. Now, autographs. Autographs, overrated. I'm going to say autographs, overrated. I don't have anything against them. I think they're extremely cool, especially certain ones. But once you get in kind of the 60s to newer, people have signed a lot of autographs. They're not that tough to come by, most of them. It is cool that like the player held the card at some point. That is a really cool thing. But many autographs aren't typically that rare, that hard to come by. For pure collection purpose, I do enjoy it. And the fun part about autographs is there's some pretty cool rare ones that you can get once you get kind of before like the Mantle, Mays, and Aaron guys, which those are kind of the start of where autographs kind of get tougher to find. Once you go back like Jackie Robinson, Satchel Paige, stories like Roy Campanella or Clemente that make their autographs really tough, I think they are really cool. And I guess I should maybe rephrase to say autographs of players that are still alive. If someone is only 50 to 70 years old, they're just going to keep signing autographs for 20, 30, 40 more years. They're going to keep signing and signing. And the rate that they sign at is just going to keep going up and up. You look at guys like Bob Feller. The older he got, he was just signing away autograph after autograph. So autographs of deceased players does make more sense because there's not more of them. But for example, a guy like Nolan Ryan, Nolan's just going to keep signing away. Also like Pete Rose, they're just going to keep signing and signing and signing until they can't sign anymore. There's going to be a lot of those out there in the future. Set building overrated. I'm not a big fan of set building. Lots of times you spend as much money on the commons as you do on getting the couple cards that are the reason you built the entire set. Let's take, for example, 57 tops. You got the Brooks Robinson rookie, Frank Robinson rookie, and then like Mantle, Mays, and Aaron. You're going to spend equal or maybe even more money on commons to fill out the set as you're going to spend to get the 3 to 5 cards that are the reason you got the entire set. So because you like the Frank Robinson and the Brooks Robinson rookie, you just signed yourself away to spending more money on cards you don't want just so they can go with the Frank Robinson and the Brooks Robinson rookies. I just am not a big fan of set building. I think the opportunity cost on it is too high. I'd rather have a smaller collection of all-star players, recognizable cards. And it also makes it a lot easier to store your collection if you don't have to worry about a 500-600 card set. We're going to end it off with card shows. Now, card shows, underrated. Card shows are as much fun as you can have in sports cards, in my opinion. If you can go to a card show, go to it. It's a super nice community feeling. Everyone in there is doing the same thing. It's a lot of fun. You get to walk around for hours, try to find some new cool cards for your collection. And overall, it's just a lot of fun. That's like the highlight of my week. Every week, when I get to go to a card show, you just talk to people about cards, get the other people's opinions, perspectives. You just get to see what's out there. I think it's a lot of fun. Card show is definitely underrated. Like I said, make sure to comment more topics. It can be a player, it can be a grading company, it can be a decade, it can be a set, it can be another YouTube channel. Just give me any topic that has to do with sports cards below, and I'll probably make a follow-up video on this with some of your guys' suggestions for another overrated, underrated episode. And I'll see you guys later.